happens, guys. It happens one grain of sand at a time. And what I suggest for a lot of people is to have a checklist. Have a checklist of some things that you have written down, right, that you need to do daily. 2 or 3 things that you need to tackle daily in order to create the life that you want, man. And you're not going to know how to create the life that you want. The deal is this. You need to know who you need to become. And that person that you finally develop to, maybe 5 years down the road, that person you finally develop to, in order to create the life that you want, he will tell you the next steps to take it to the next level. But you got to become that person first. You got to begin to work toward becoming that person. That is a person of focus. That is a person of discipline. And that is the person who seeks the proper counsel. You have to begin to seek the proper counsel. And when that counsel begins to give you instructions, guys, every good operator keeps a yellow pad. Every good operator keeps a yellow pad. When I was in law enforcement, every good operator, kept a small pad in their pocket. And when the supervisor or team leader told them something, they were writing it down. Writing it down so that later on, when the event was over and all the excitement dropped, they can go back to the notes. What happened? Why did this happen? How did this happen? What instructions were I given? What assignment did I have? And that is important. You gotta have a checklist to check things off, to know whether you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Remember, I told you guys, you gotta have laser focus if you are going to be creating the life that you want. Laser focus. So that means you gotta really, really be serious about what you're trying to achieve. Now, one of the things that I noticed with a lot of people who I try to help to achieve a better life, to achieve their goals, maybe I'm coaching them, maybe I'm counseling them, wherever they're at in their lives, whatever they're trying to achieve, right? And I'm talking to them about it. They need to be clear about the role that they're playing in their life, right? If they're an employee, they need to be focused on the company mission statement, being a great employee, right? If it's a relationship, right, they need to be concentrating on giving 100% in that relationship, not expecting anybody to give anything in return, right? That has to be their attitude. If they're in business for themselves, right, they have to be understand the role that they play, that maybe in the beginning they have to do all of the work. And to do all of the work, you're going to need a checklist, you're going to need it written out, and you're going to need some focus in order to create the life that you want. The next thing is, guys, review. One of the things I learned from one of my buddies, Hector, who is a master carpenter, was that measure twice, cut once, right? And so in measuring twice, what he basically means is that review your steps that you have to take before you take those steps. So you have to take a step, you know the action that you need to take, review it to make sure 100% clarity before you make that next step. Know your next steps, know your moves, right? Know your moves, but also review them before you take them, and review them afterwards to see what type of results you got out of that step. What did you achieve when you did that particular action that was given to you by your mentor, by your coach, or whoever is giving you that action? You need to know, right? So measure twice, cut once, guys. Remember those actions. Measure twice, cut once. And after you have performed that action, review it and make sure that that was the proper course of action for you. I think that is key. I think that is so important, and that will help you to begin to achieve the life that you want. Now, The last thing that I tell people all the time, especially in my book, Top 25 Mistakes and Rounds of Good Life, is learn from your mistakes. You know, I got a lot of people who, most of the younger people that I know, my first halfers, they don't want to learn from other people's mistakes. They really, really feel like they need to learn from their own mistakes. And what they'll soon learn is that time is the reason why you don't want to continually learn from your own mistakes, right? You want to learn from other people's mistakes so that you don't have to make those same mistakes, so that you can avoid them, so that you can surpass that moment that slows you down. Because, hear me out, guys, some mistakes knock you on your ass. They knock you back hard. I have made some serious mistakes that have knocked me back 10 years. You know, can you imagine making a mistake that takes 10 years of your life? I have done that already. You know, a mistake that has knocked me back on my butt, had me start from zero, guys. And it took me 10 years to build up my faith, my confidence, and my belief in myself in order to achieve the life that I want right now. 10 years. So you guys have to stop making not only the same mistakes, you need to learn from your mistakes. This is obvious, right? You need to learn from your mistakes, but you also need to have somebody out there that you consult with that has shown you the path of the mistakes you don't want to make. The mistakes that can ruin your life. I've seen mistakes that have ruined people's lives, guys, and they gotta learn from them and you gotta grow from them. So one of the most important things I tell you guys when it comes to mistakes and errors and things, get back on your feet fast. Get back on your feet as quickly as possible. You need to have some serious resilience and you need to have some serious bounce back when it comes to creating the life that you want. Some serious resilience, some serious bounce back, and learn to jump right back in that focus. Learn to avoid the distractions and fight through them, guys. Fight through that need to have a shot of dopamine to slow you down. That dopamine is like, even though it lifts you for that brief second that your brain's loving, learn to hate that. That's no good for you. Learn to hate it. Begin to grow through discipline and focus. Right? Start to enjoy discipline and focus. Start to love discipline and focus, because those two things will be your friend. Those two things will get you a whole lot further, right, than getting constant shots of dopamine in order to think that it's going to help you to achieve the life that you want. You know, I had something I wanted to say here. It was a quote by Mike Tyson, but it was basically about discipline and having discipline in order to achieve the life that you want. And I thought that that was powerful, because he basically said that if you don't have discipline, you're not ready. You're not ready to have the life that you want if you don't have discipline. If you don't have discipline, that means you are not serious about what you want, because anybody can say what they want and emotionally get started on a journey, a task, or thing that they're trying to achieve, right? But it takes discipline day in and day out to do it, even when you don't want to do it, guys. That is what a true master of his craft does each and every day. You do it even though you don't want to do it. You do it even though you feel bad, even though you feel emotionally sad, even though you feel drained, even though you don't feel physically well, right? You do it anyway in order to master your craft. Okay, as I tell people all the time, have some pride.